Hey man, say man, this the motherfucking God. Multi-dimensional being, light being, chaos being, dark matter, neuromelanated. Master teacher, master student. DeMarco, you new to the page, subscribe, hit that motherfucking bell for notifications. So you can become part of the notification gang on the game. Share the motherfucking video. Smash the motherfucking like button. Hold on, let me put that in the comment section. Smash the goddamn like button. It's free. It's free. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. Smash the goddamn like button. If you appreciate the content, hold on, let me get it off there. That's raw shit. That's raw shit right there. Hold up. Put it in the motherfucking comment section, man. Let's go. Let's turn up right quick. Y'all know I like to rate the vibratory rate. You feel me? Let's go. We finna go in today. We getting deep. We go always, but we going in depth today. We going more in depth today. We going more in depth today. Universe. Shout out to the guys known and unknown. Hold on, we finna turn up. We finna turn the fuck up. Hold up. Let's pull this shit up right here. Hold on, that's an ad right there. I don't want that on there. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all see how I pull this up down there every time because this is what we get. We get the surface level. We get this level, and we gonna go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more levels up on it. Hold on, let me. Y'all know we gotta get the Mother Nature. Show y'all what Mother Nature going on. I know that they're watching. Got a feeling that a new age is dawning. For sure. Ooh, I know that something's coming, like a rumbling. Now are you coming? Let go. Let me get my best in order. Are you ready? This is a new world. It's the new world order, the real one. Call it what you will, call it a disorder. I am just a messenger. I'm just an informer. I'm just here to tell you, man. We have all this power. Yep. We should be blooming like flowers. Blooming like flowers. What more can we devour? Don't you know the tale of Purple Stairwell? Ooh, look like the motherfucking Titanic. Look at motherfuckers just sitting there. These motherfuckers can't be real. Hey, these people cannot be real, man. Did you see how motherfuckers just stood up in there, man? Look. Boom. Look, motherfuckers still sitting there with the muzzle on. Like gallons and thousands of gallons of water didn't just protrude through the glass. I don't gotta say it. You know,
like motherfucker.
The spaceship, no Lambo, hop into the spaceship. Let's go.
Hop in the spaceship, y'all.
Ice cold, if you think you know me, you
don't know me.
Jake Daily, Scorpio, I'm the next highlight.
I'm real bold.
In the dark, I'm a nightlight. No ghost, real trippy, real skaty, siren, real hot, real flamey, Cayenne. Waves on the daily trident, and the bull on the lamb, I'm silent. Tell the truth in the booth, no lying. Real high in the clouds, I'm flying.
I'm real high.
No gold on my mouth, just fire.
Third eye got me hearing louder.
I have been given a message, whatever you touch, you must bless it. Bless it, bless it.
Hold on, let's move on. Let's continue. Let's continue. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. Hold on. Y'all know I gotta play this right here. Hold on. I forgot we was motherfucking live. I forgot we was motherfucking live. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on, I forgot we were live. Hold on, I forgot we were live. Hold on, let me try a different one of these. Hold on. We live. We live right now. God damn it, we live. We live. We lit right now. Let's bring the vibes back. Holla.
Hey V, line them up.
Not like Seceret, this shit serious. I'ma do this shit big. I don't give a fuck what they talking about Marco. Go ahead and break down this little physical world that we live in. Cause they be talking about P to me. You gon' need a little cartridge synergy. They ain't gon' really break down another energy. It's a hologram that you seeing me now. I don't really think they get that. I done brush shit down. I ain't talking Kit Kat. I would know this astronomical and an astrology shit. They ain't with that. Let me get off of that. They don't wanna talk that. Want me to talk about a couple bowls. Looking like a quarter key. Nigga, when I step to the spot, I done fuck around, broke them all. I ain't even worried about them hoes on the currency. You don't even know that currency. I be surrounded by so many ancestors. Nigga, how you really gon' fuck with me? They like, you a street nigga, how you know alchemy? You stand up, nigga, make them sit down like he ever be. Y'all let the black woman out this calamity. Not knowing she the grand universal deity. I ain't gon' lie, you can't fuck with a picture of me. Little rumors in the street, but I ain't even care to speak. In enlightenment and I hope a nigga don't take it sweet. Be nothing over here sweet. Hold on, we gonna go to the next one. Oh shit. Why the fuck they did that? I ain't try to do that. I ain't try to do all that. Hold on, y'all. Come on, I ain't try to do this. Hold up, I can exit that. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring that back. Cause they had two of them up at the same time. Let me bring that back. Let me bring that back. We gonna continue where the fuck we left off at. Hold on, bear with me. There we go. Alright. Plug the ashes on that cigarette down. Sit that cigarette down. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, we're going in depth today. We're going in motherfucking depth today. Ain't no jurisdiction on this shit today. It ain't never no goddamn jurisdiction, but shit. We off the charts today. We off the charts the motherfucking day. Hold on. What I do that for? I want to do this. How live? Master student, DeMarco. Hold up. I'm too mysterious. And like he said, I come straight from Seceret. I'm talking about the star system. It go pierce. Like the city girl. Oh, yeah, I'm curious. Marco got him weary. I killed the track, they delirious. Got orders on, so you know we ain't playing around. They want me sing on the pit, talk about gun sound. Pow, pow. I been standing on top of the mound, lay the shit down. Nigga got mad, they looked at me, but they realized I pulled a pound. Ain't gonna elaborate it. Nigga want me on an interrogation. Nigga capping on the internet, most of the fabrication. You know that I did this shit daily. These pussy niggas need to pay me. Regardless if you hate me, Kobe Bryant, nigga, when it comes to this fading. Go through them phases, they know that the earth is shifting. Hold on, let me mind my own business. Come in and out the earth, I'm glitching, shape shifting and twitching. Hold on, little nigga, couple of people went missing. They don't wanna hear about that, they wanna hear about these niggas killing, drug dealing, physical, mundane bullshit. They rather give all they money to the pastor and pray on the poor bitch. I can get the cruise shit. They were like, nigga, lose still ain't chill. You ain't talk about them. Hold on, let me get out that. That's in the wind. Cause doing it in the bed, long bed, nigga. What the fuck you mean, nigga? How you don't want me like outcast? Look at me, fresh so clean. They ain't got no dignity. They ain't military, and I ain't a beast. They left these niggas astray. Marco jumped on the beat the team. I ain't here to roll. Niggas let me brag how they got physique. Till a nigga get shot down, they done let him head shot in the street. Ain't nobody won't be singing pussy niggas in person. It's compete. Till we get the fucking planet back, I put it on triple darkness in space. It won't be peace. Put me back on again. Turn the vibe back up. Peace, love, light, and motherfucking darkness. Peace, love, light, and motherfucking darkness. Abundance. Hold on, let me upload this next one. Let me upload this next one. Swear. Just being honest. No count. Hello. I keep an eye out for the numbers. I say in contact synchronization. You ain't never met an entity with that much divinity. So stop the debate. Let me go ahead and get into this. Just so you remember this. 9 to the 9 power 9 is the high number in the universe. So I'm telling you, carbonated being they hate you because you infinite. You change different. We get metaphysical, so there's gonna be some how you learn. And we learn that we can change our shape of avatar and then shit. We become more eternal. I'm talking immortal, you did. Watch how the ancestors come in UFOs and swarm. Transcendent became death. Express what we gone, but when you hear the information, don't be alarmed. They say to be calm when you do a little research on melanin. Getting deep into it, they gon' try to give you felonies. People been using our body for their recipe. So they got niggas in the melatonin, what you telling me? Then you call yourself a god, man, that's blasphemy. If you don't know the Spartan family, then don't debate with me. If the black woman ain't God, then it's lunacy. Now I need to be in waking up, that's a threat to democracy. Hold up. Houston, we got a problem. Isaiah 45, I will give you the treasures of dark. Is it really esoteric, meaning your melanin carbon? Why you talking this metaphysical shit? I heard your reputation is tarnished. I beg your pardon, don't fuck around with them allegations. I've been living my best life, pussy nigga under no stipulations. Been goddamn 5.2, high running no currency, and they start to hate. It ain't my fault, the universe keep giving me my manifestations. Break it down, Gnostic scriptures, they calling me Satan. One time that I say I'm the same. Hold on, let me play another. God damn it, let me play another. Hold on, I'm gonna get straight into this one right here. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on, I'm gonna get straight into this one. Hold Hold on, I normally play this one last. Since the energy and the vibration so goddamn high, I'm gonna play it right now. Since the sun causing so much shit to go on, we're gonna play it right now. We're gonna play it right now. Right. Motherfucking not period. Don't play with them. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Hold on. Hold on. Master teacher, master student. DeMarco.
Damn, Obi.
Too much corona mass injection in the ozone layer. It's getting eradicated. They be like, Marco, go on, keep it player. Pushing them P's, they be like, nigga, you can't even be from the street. Did this shit to the T. Got them eyes across a cup of tea. They ain't even gonna be. Cause we gon' sit at the table, little nigga, we gon' feed her. They said I'm vibrating too low. Bitch, I'm straight for the screen. A nigga needs to raise it up, I guess. I'ma elevate it to the crown. I moved up to a couple pounds. Wanna see a nigga fall back down. Ooh. I'ma see it on the nigga, I'ma win no matter what I do. Elevated, they were like, nigga, no capping, gone, keep it true. Feel like a best coach, set it on 22, no rule. I'ma pay the bitch, ocean blue. Record deal, oh, goddamn, I let the rebound get loose. I'm the animator, no, nigga, they ain't even got no charisma. Charismatic, that's why she want me up in, I'm always hitting on.
Damn, Obi.
The busy, you already know they really wanna capture me. I'm straight from the 19 galaxy. Tell about the sexual alchemy. When she comes, she finna start manifesting. Hold up, they be stressing cause they say they got blessings. Kappa, fly out for the way that we step in. The real nigga in the beat, he ain't gotta guess it. Low vibrate motherfucker, don't need the Holy Spirit for protection. I'm getting into the esoteric shit and break it down in section. You was talking about the triple dog, this is a space, you know they got some questions. Ain't that no regret, and they like
Damn, Obi.
reflection. Too much corona mass injections in the ozone layer. It's getting eradicated. They were like, Marco, go on, keep the player. Pushing on P's, they were like, nigga, you can't even be from the streets. I did this shit to the T, dotted them eyes across a cup of tea. They ain't even want be, cause we gon' sit at the table, little nigga, we gon' feed. They say I'm vibrating too low, bitch, I'm straight from the street. A nigga need to raise it up, I guess. I'm elevated to the crown. I moved up to a couple pounds, they wanna see a nigga fall back down. Ooh.
You can't get no money from the reparations because you ain't 100% black. You European. That's one way to do it. Then again, on the other hand, I can give a shit about you all getting some money. That's right. See what I'm saying?
Damn, Obi.
Like I told you before. Is that what it all boils down? You got kicked in the ass and slavery. Your mama got raped. That's all it boils down to. It's $1 billion so you can go to the mall.
When I was down bad, they ain't even vote me. They ain't really want to give me no energy. I had to run up a little bit of currency. Now they really want to try to fuck with my frequency. They ain't talking about beef, but they split this. When I call up 30 y'all in my stick, they were like, do you really got the main strip? Too many boys, I ain't got to talk the truth. They were like, that nigga too enlightening. Ain't no lightning striking. Had to beat the nigga out like Tyson. These niggas that trifling. She ain't wanna fuck when they ain't hair bread. I ran my money, yeah, she wanna give it. Fuck on her first night, she ain't scared. Oh, these hoes, they too petty. Too messy, you really couldn't get it. And check out my vision, the way they don't spit it. Meeting the big man, they don't step on top to the spot. Tongue twisted and they gifted. Hold on, let me bring it back. I got a head out of myself. Made me gonna lose breath. I've been high as fuck. Got like a... Hold up, I ain't even done, it's a freestyle, I can't even that quick. Niggas just mad cause I still to the spot and the bitch say I'm the shit. Do we get to talk about illumination? Do we get to talk about the hobble game? I mean, do we get to talk about the pioneer grand, but they wouldn't even understand? So I had to go hair like a hypothalamus. That was like you getting out of character. I had her back, no chiropractor. These niggas ain't nothing but actors. I guess they knew the beat. Hold up, nigga, what I do in the sheets with your baby mama, it ain't new to me. You already know how down, little nigga, when it come to me. I'ma tell him about justice. I was all on the block that thuggin'. You gonna have to call up a couple judges. When I Yeah, your mama was a customer. Hold up, nigga, don't sugar that. You already know they gon' fuck with us. I had to get this shit from an interest. Had to fuck with them from a distance. They wanna change to the pigment. I speak the boy, they don't wanna listen. Never like, nigga, why you talking about slaves? Why you talking about all sharecroppers? Why you ain't talking about a lot of group? Why you ain't talking about a teleprompter? Why you talking about the motherfucking color in Bentley? I ain't even looking forward. Falling on their head, don't even know the score. Real, this shit be sweating out my pores. I ain't with all the litigation, interrogation, investigation. What these niggas talking about, you know what it is. I ain't going for debating. Yeah, I got issues. Wood strapped on the block with the pistols. Probably look a nigga know with a tissue. Hold up, I'm colder than the igloo. I fuck that bitch and I don't miss you. And I never ever kiss you. Hold up, what the fuck am I gon' do? When I see myself out the cool. And I miss my mama to death. She like, nigga, I ain't going nowhere. I'm with you spiritually. They can't fuck with me physically. She fucking with me because I get her wet mentally. It ain't really sexually. We got too much chemistry. I move the atoms after me. Hold on, roll up the gas, I'm feeling good. They mad cause I'm coming from the hood. They saying that nigga up to no good. They be talking on social media, but I wish you would. Coming to the roof for the greatness. They said I was destined for greatness. Come through, nigga, demonstrating. We get the shine escapade. We all on the mission. Telling me about my journey. I couldn't take her to Tiffany's. You already know my earnings. Do this shit get biblical? I said this shit was astronomical. I ain't no philosopher. But you already know about the common cold. Step on the scene too clean. No couple of y'all that got them vaccines. Damn. They gon' say that they don't too mean. You don't really even know my regime. We ain't gotta talk about a dynasty. They don't really wanna elaborate it. They say that the sun vacant. Tell them motherfucker to quit the hating. They trying to control nature. You don't even worry about a savior. Well, you took that vaccine anyway, and you said you had a savior. Ball too hard with the Lakers. Get the fight like Indiana Pacers. I was cold like a motherfucking glacier. I kept a real, now they motherfucking hate us. Yeah. Man, run that back. Run that back. Run that bike. Run that bike. Run that bike. I killed this shit. I killed this shit. Pause it. Pause it. I know I show y'all a lot of shit like this. Travesty, calamity. But all of these storms that I show you with these different people that you see, guess what? They haven't lost everything. My kind, my people, 9 ether beings, we lost everything. From the motherfucking planet to motherfucking identity. We lost the motherfucking planet and motherfucking our identity. We in the midst of knowing and who the fuck we truly and really is. See, we got a lot of Christian shit to talk about as well, religious shit. You feel me? And we probably don't remember, you know how the Bible talks about the Son of God coming back to destroy by fire and raise up the motherfuckers that believe and accepted him in their hearts and repented. But, well, you don't know. If you didn't know, the Bible is coded. Even Jesus tells you in the Bible, he speaks in parables. It's not talking about the S-O-N of God. It's talking about the S-U-N. Who is us? As above, so below. You feel me? We soak the radiation, the action, the sun, the frequency. You feel me? We are massive conductors of the divine cosmic radiation. We are the most profound divine cosmic entities in the whole motherfucking cosmos. And the frequency of the sun used to be way higher before these motherfucking parasitic entities entered this realm.
for them to exist, for them and their creations to exist. That's why the cycles, a lot of talk about cycles end, and they know what's happening when these cycles end. It's the end of parasitic, unnatural, inorganic motherfuckers. You feel me? The sun and other celestial objects has basically returned, and the ancestor has returned to activate us in God mode through our molecular structures, our biological structures, and to destroy them. This is why they want to transfer their consciousness into machines and robots. Hence, that also goes in with the whole alphabet community as well. You feel me? Because their inorganic matter bodysuits are being destroyed by the sun, Mother Earth, and the rest of these celestial objects. Even the energy from us is destroying, literally ripping their synthetic shit apart. You feel me? In the next 100 years, it's just a done deal. You see, they make the movies and shit about us gods and goddesses with full DNA activation. So that's why they try to come so hard at our kids and keep our kids stuck in their manigula, keep them stuck in their goddamn root chakra, keep them stuck in their reptilian, animalistic nature, because our children, our younger generations don't know what to do with the energies, this chaos energy that's rising up in them. So they into all the celebrities, the rappers, the whole industry, and they're getting their energy usurped and their energy is being zapped and used against them. Just like a couple TV shows or movie songs that I heard, they say, man, they spray that motherfucker shit up in the air, watch the motherfuckers niggas in the hood go crazy. See, we activate, and the future is basically going to be against this so-called AI right here. That because if you think this AI is something right here, just imagine the advanced level of artificial technology that your so-called governments and powers of people into be can't even, comprehend. And we in the midst of moving out these parasitic entities. Let's keep it going. Hold on. Play that shit again right now. That shit over here.
When I was down bad, they ain't even vote me. They ain't really want to give me no energy.
Run it back.
Now they really want to try to fuck with my frequency. They ain't talking about beef, but they stick this. When I call up, 30 y'all in my stick. Never like me, you really got the main strip. Too many bars, I ain't got to talk the truth. Never like that nigga too enlightening. Ain't no lightning who's striking. Had to beat the nigga out like Tyson. Paul, these niggas that trifling. She ain't want to fuck when they ain't hair-bread. I ran my money, yeah, she want to give it. Fuck on her first night, she ain't scared. Oh, these hoes, they too petty. Too messy, you really couldn't get it and check out my business the way they don't spit it. Meeting the big man, they don't step on front to spot. Toes twisted and they gifted. Hold on, let me bring it back. I got a head out of myself. Made me gonna lose breath. I've been high as fuck. Got like a...
I done jumped off some steps.
I ain't even done, it's a freestyle. I can't even that quick. Nigga just mad cause I still to the spot and the bitch stay on the shit. Do we get to talk about illumination? Do we get to talk about the hobble game? up. I mean, do we get talk about the pioneers every day when me understand? Nice. So I had to go hair like a hypothalamus. That was like you getting out of character. I had her back, no chiropractor. These niggas ain't never much actor. I guess they knew the beat. Hold up, nigga, what I do in the sheets with your baby mama, it ain't new to me. You already know how I am, little nigga, when it come to me. I'm telling my justice. I was all on the block that thugging. You gonna have to call up a couple judges. When I block the Drake, I'ma get the bustin'. Never like he was on the block hustling. Swear. Yeah, your mama was a customer. Hold up, nigga, don't struggle that. You already know they ain't gon' fuck with us. I had to get this shit from an interest. Had to fuck with them from a distance. Swear. They wanna change at the pigment. I spit the boy, they don't wanna listen. Never like, nigga, why you talking about slaves? Why you talking about all sharecroppers? Why you ain't talking about a lot of crew? Why you ain't talking about a teleprompter? Why you talking about the motherfucking color in Bentley? I ain't even looking forward. Falling on their head, don't even know the score. Real, this shit be sweating on my pores. I ain't with all the litigation, interrogation, investigation. What these niggas talk about, you know what it is. I ain't going for debating. Yeah, I got issues. Wood strapped on the block with the pistols. Probably look a nigga know with a tissue. Hold up, I'm colder than the igloo. I fucked that bitch and I don't miss you. And I never ever kiss you. Hold up, what the fuck am I gonna do? When I see myself out the cool. And I miss my mom and the death. She like, nigga, I ain't going nowhere. I'm with you spiritually. They can't fuck with me physically. She fuck with me because I get her wet mentally. It ain't really sexually. We got too much chemistry. I move the atoms, alchemy. Hold on, roll up the gas, I'm feeling good. They mad cause I'm coming from the hood. They saying that nigga up to no good. They be talking on social media, but I wish you would. Coming to the roof for the greatness. They said I was destined for greatness. Come through, nigga, tell me swaying. We get the shine escapade. We all on the mission, telling me about my journey. I couldn't take her to Tiffany's. You already know my earnings. Do this shit get biblical? I said this shit was astronomical. I ain't no philosopher, but you already know about the common code. Step on the scene too clean. No couple of y'all that got them vaccine. Damn, they gon' say that they don't too mean. You don't really even know my regime. We ain't gotta talk about a dynasty, cause they don't really wanna elaborate it. They say that the sun vacant. Tell them motherfucker to quit the hating. They trying to control nature. You don't even worry about a savior. Well, you took that vaccine anyway, and you said you had a savior. All too hard with the Lakers. Get the fight like Indiana Pacers. I was cold like a motherfucking glacier. I kept it real, now they motherfucking hate us. Yeah. Hey, man. That bitch up, man. Yeah. They wanna go toe with a nigga, but shit, we don't really give a fuck. Fuck you mean, little nigga, you ain't really wanna fight, but shit, I'm pistol talk. That was like you got down to your root. Shocker, boy, you vibrate low. Let me bring this shit to the maximum, so you already know how it go. They wanna see them UFO, you look in the side, you see them pro. Look in the sky, you know when that is in the skies when I go. Drip this shit here cold. Need to put me off and go. They were like, you got up in the streets and we just heard you fall. What you mean? Couldn't walk a fucking mile off in my shoe. Let on a step. Tell me if it's beef, little nigga, you know what it do. We'll slide. We ain't pulling up, little nigga, and ain't quiet. We ain't airing nothing out until somebody sitting outside. Yeah, they say they wanna pull up, got them prices on my head. Big 30 like I'm big 30, plus I'm never scared. Well prepared, but the shit was in the past and I don't dwell. It really got sticky, it got deeper than the well. This is cosmic energy and they got people under spell. I said MK Ultra probably was the best to go to hell. Hold up, nigga, too many metro times, we don't need neither scale. Niggas talking like they want it, but I swear I wish you did. I mean, I wish a nigga would, and I drop a dog dare. We ain't playing the motherfucking game. They say it ain't fair. They say why you bringing it down, stupid to these niggas. That bitch up, man. Hold on, y'all. Let me stop that, man. Hold up.
Parental consent. Let's dive into the details, shall we? A Washington state bill that would strip parents' rights to intervene on their kids' medical care in certain circumstances passed the House Wednesday, clearing its pathway to being.
I'm talking about everything. Like I hear conversations go on about cashless society. Motherfuckers want to get rid, so-called motherfuckers with intelligence, the conscious, spiritual, whatever the motherfucking movement is, they want to get rid. Even these motherfuckers want to get rid of the dollar. Melanated people want to get rid of the dollar, and that's what they want motherfuckers to do. They want you to, like, okay, so-called reparations, getting the planet back, getting the minerals back, getting the currency back. We invented the motherfucking currency. And they want you to go digital so they can shut your shit off. And that's a whole nother way of them not even giving you your shit. That's a way of them not giving you what was held, taken, or given to them. Let me play the video. We'll get back into it.
Being signed by Governor Jay Inslee. An act relating to supporting youth, or Senate Bill 5599, allows host homes for runaway youth to house youth without parental permission. Furthermore, the host homes do not need to notify parents about where their kids are or if they are getting medical interventions. If there is a compelling reason not to, which includes a youth seeking protected health services. The protected health care services, including gender affirming care, which for minors arbitrarily included anything prescribed by a doctor to treat dysphoria, the bill said. Gender affirming treatment can be prescribed to two-spirit, transgender, non-binary, and other gender diverse individuals, the bill stated. I don't know what two-spirit is. Let's continue. For minors, affirming care typically includes puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries. It was unclear which services would be approved under the bill. Instead of contacting parents, shelters can contact the Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, instead. Another compelling reason not to notify parents about kids staying in a host home was circumstances that indicate notifying the parents or legal guardian will subject the minor to abuse or neglect. The bill was
to call you motherfuckers, but you see what you motherfuckers then so-called voted for, and you talking about the motherfucking problems, but you told these people this what you wanted. You told these motherfuckers to come in and take your so-called parental rights, and we know parent means pair and rent. But you done basically gave away your motherfucking duty and your obligations, and this with even you with the, you didn't even notice that your children with these motherfuckers been operating. These motherfuckers been doing operations on kids younger than 5, giving them hormone boosters, blockers, mutilations straight out the womb. You motherfuckers asked for the pedophilia to be in the face, on the news, rampant, with no problems. You motherfuckers agreed to kidnapping and letting these motherfuckers kidnap, rape, torture, and eat motherfucking kids and women. Motherfuckers been allowed this shit. Let me go. All right, rewind on my bike.
Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, instead. Let's continue. For minors, affirming care typically includes puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries. It was unclear which services would be approved under the bill. Instead of contacting parents, shelters can contact the Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, instead. Another compelling reason not to notify parents about kids staying in a host home was circumstances that indicate notifying the parents or legal guardian will subject the minor to abuse or neglect. The bill was criticized by opponents by being child abuse. The opposition said, according to the bill's text, a parent's job is to protect their child. This bill strips parents of that ability. Gender is not gender is in your imagination. This bill legalizes the kidnapping of children, allows for the harboring of minors, and segregates us from the union. After it passed the House, Democratic State Rep Tana Sen, who supported the bill, said, I am saying tonight to them that I see you, that I affirm you, that I hear you, according to Town Hall. State Senate Republican leader John Braun blasted the bill for attacking parents' rights. The only thing the bill would do is cause harm by driving a wedge between vulnerable kids and their parents at a time when a teen lacks the perception and judgment to make critical life-altering decisions, Braun said. A parent may not even know why the child ran away and could involve law enforcement or other groups in a desperate search, all the while going through an unnecessary emotional nightmare, imagining the worst about what might have happened. Other states, such as California, are considering legislation that would restrict parents' rights. Some critics have accused a bill of state sanctioned kidnapping. In March, California introduced a bill currently being reviewed in the state Senate, students to be admitted into a group home without parental consent with approval from school counselors. A counselor who testified against the bill said it is apparent that one result of this bill will be the removal of trans-identified children from the family home. In the deposition in the dystopian nightmare we are in, if a parent doesn't use the child's chosen pronoun or name, they are labeled dangerous, Pamela Garfield Jeager said in their testimony, according to Daily Signal. I can't. It's just crazy. It's crazy this is even happening. You would think people on the right and the left would agree. Okay, we're not going this far. Since saying these kids can't.
They don't give a fuck. They know the parents don't give a fuck.
In our interpretation, maybe presenting as female, that they may not want to be called princess. So let's think differently about how do we really engage with our guests in a meaningful and inclusive way that makes it magical and memorable for everyone.
I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, all of the classics. They have been a huge, informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you hear whispers. I'd heard things like, oh, they won't let you show this at a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little sus when I started. But then my experience was baffling.
It's already there. It's already out. It's already out. A lot of motherfuckers that got their ego boosted got it. A lot of motherfuckers that got their ego boosted got that right there. It's already out. It's already out. Your cell phone. Motherfucker linking all their bank cards. It's already out. We know the reason the banks collapsing is because, and they talking about the ceiling debt, is because we want everything that's motherfucking owed to us and some. You thinking they crashing the banks on purpose and shit. They not crashing the motherfucking banks on purpose. The banks have to collapse. They been collapsed. The whole judicial court system, all of that shit, the laws and all of that shit, then already been collapsed. And I'm gonna talk about this right here too, deeper in the video. See, and what they want to do is they own sick agenda. Cause this is all right here is coincides with them merging with machine. And them not understanding duality, the whole Baphomet picture. They're not understanding the whole duality, yin and yang. They're not understanding that.
The opposite of what I had heard on my little pocket of Proud Family, Disney TVA. The showrunners are super welcoming, Meredith Roberts, and our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret agenda. And so I felt like it was agenda. And so welcoming to
Disney was cool to the not at all secret agenda.
My not at all secret agenda. And so
she tried to say it all fast.
I felt like it was. I mean, maybe something must have happened in the last they're turning it around. They're going hard, and then all that momentum that I felt like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to let's have these two characters kiss in the background. I was just wherever I could, just basically at.
And never mind you, they got a trans right here talking to you. Talking about she, wherever, since Disney goddamn gave her the threshold, gave her the green light, gave her the absolute green light, this motherfucker talking about some, well, you know what? Since it ain't a secret, this motherfucker talking about they were adding this everywhere. Shit, Disney ain't saying that. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it every goddamn scene. You ain't gonna even. You gonna have to goddamn slow the scene down. Crop the scene, slow the scene down to even. You gonna have to do some shit to even goddamn see the weirdness. But the kids' subconscious automatically picks up what people think that they're not putting down. So you see what a lot of these people then accepted. They accepted being muzzled up. They accepted the world stage's movie. They accepted the motherfucking movie that was going on. You know how you watch a movie and you know it's a movie, but watching the mainstream news and shit and all these actors, they see all these actors and shit and not read along with the celebrities, not knowing that these motherfuckers is celebrities too. These motherfuckers is actors too. And you didn't fail for the goddamn okie doke of the mother of fucking humanity. Even your Christians, even the motherfucking Christians lost faith in their God. These motherfuckers lost faith in Jesus when that pandemic hit. They lost faith in goddamn whatever religious motherfucking leader. You see niggas up in the church. You see niggas up in the church getting their ego boosted. You see niggas in the church getting their ego boosted. Because you see actors out here telling you to go get your ego boosted. Because in actuality, some cosmic shit done hit in this glass bowl we in this glass bowl realm we in. Energy to seep through, so it's killing off one branch of people, so they got to make it worldwide that is dangerous for everybody. This radiation we talking about. So while that going on, they done led you to believe that what you doing and what you and all of this, they were like, well, we're gonna throw this up in here too, since these motherfuckers ain't even paying attention, that we throwing the queerness up in here. We're going to throw the queerness all up and through it and make them accept it. We're going to make these motherfuckers accept it. We're going to show them that Balenciaga don't do nothing but traffic kids. We're going to show them, and we're going to still put our celebrities and clones and shit in these Balenciagas. We're going to make these motherfuckers still go spend their money on this shit. So you representing and compelling evidence that you is with their agenda, all their agendas. The pedophilia agendas, the queerness agenda, the depopulation of the chosen people agenda, stealing, killing. This is what these motherfuckers accepted. They don't allow what the fuck you let them. Oh, they accept that. You done gave them consent, didn't even goddamn know you gave them consent. You done gave them consent for your goddamn child to run away, get kidnapped, and transform the motherfucker. That about ain't even what that child even wanted. Y'all promote 5-year-olds to get sex operation changes. And y'all motherfuckers have been with this.
Did you see anything queer in the show? No one stopped me. No one was trying to stop.
Yeah. You motherfuckers, they outdid yourself. You motherfuckers gonna be beyond sick at what y'all done allow. Did I play this? No, I probably played this. Let me play that. Let me play that right here. Let me play that right here. Hold up.
And parents in Washington state are losing rights when it comes to making medical decisions for their children seeking transgender treatments. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins has more now from D.C.
Children in Washington state will soon not need their parents' permission to switch genders.
It really is an assault on parental rights. It's an assault on children.
The governor indicating he will sign the legislation into law, allowing kids to run away from home and seek gender-affirming care with no legal obligation for adults to contact their parents.
Instead of getting to the root cause and partnering with parents to get them real treatment, the state is stepping in and medically kidnapping children from their parents. They're promoting family separation is what it is.
Republican State Representative Jim Walsh firmly against the measure.
I don't think parents who are loving, supportive parents who may be having an argument with their teenage child should be cut out of that child's life. I think that's very, very dangerous ground.
In Utah, State Senator Mike Kennedy's home was vandalized after he sponsored a bill banning gender-affirming surgery and puberty blockers for minors. Equality Utah, one of the state's biggest LGBTQ+ advocacy groups, putting out a statement condemning the vandalism, writing, quote, "These heinous acts do not help LGBTQ Utahns." Utah, one of at least 11 states to pass laws barring minors from receiving gender-affirming care.
The title itself is very misleading. You know, these patients are not being given true informed consent, and this is actually destructive care. The reason that there's so much pushback is we are seeing lives destroyed.
Last week, Minnesota lawmakers passing a bill establishing the state as a trans refuge for kids denied gender care elsewhere.
More are fleeing their home states, asking where they should turn. The organized political movement that has targeted my community is at work in every state that touches ours.
More than a dozen other states are currently considering implementing their own bans or restrictions on gender-affirming care for minors. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Let's move on. Let's move on before they try to flag the video out. Let's move on. Now let's go a little deep. Let's dive in right quick. Hold on, let us dive in. Now you see why it's so much goddamn Calamity. Now you see why it was so much calamity. And when I told you them goddamn, these people know they got to get that cash up. They got to get that cash up. They already know.
He trusted me to handle the delicate matter of his.
Goodness, I got nervous all of a sudden.
I can stop it.
No, keep rolling. I can't be more nervous than my girls will be when they watch this. So, girls, I thought I'd know what to say by now, but the truth is, I don't. If I know anything, I know you two've been fighting, probably moments before you hit play, but seriously, girls, if you're watching this, then I know that I've been the cause of more than a few fights recently. Megan, look at me, sweetie. Jordan, Megan, I know I wasn't the best father, not even the best example of a man for the two of you, and there's nothing I can do now to change that. I know that. But I do want to try to make right what I can. John and Misha, I know you don't know me, but I hope by the end of this, you'll know why I did what I did and why I've done what I've done. Where do I even begin? Well, first off, I know you've been wondering why your mother has been left out of all this. The reality is, this is what she wanted. And I don't know what all she shared with you, but I hope you're open to hearing me and believing me when I say she chose this. Well, really, I put her in an awful position, and then she did the same to me. Shortly after you were born, Jordan, I met and fell in love with another woman. And I had a child with her a year later. This was obviously very painful for your mother. It was painful for me. I found myself feeling things I'd never felt for someone I would have never imagined. It was confusing and complicated. And I shared all this with your mother. She tried forgiving me, but she just couldn't do it. More than forgiving me, Joan couldn't bear the shame of divorce or outside children. So she forbade me from seeing that woman and our child again. And I did what she told me for as long as I could. But no matter how hard I tried, I could not stay away from Melinda. John, Misha, I am so... There's nothing. I loved your... John, Misha, I did a terrible, terrible thing. For terrible reasons. I let fear and ignorance and, quite honestly, hatred keep me away from you and your beautiful, beautiful mother. And I've spent the last 26 years in complete and crippling shame. And it is still a drop in the bucket of the immeasurable amount of pain I have caused each of you. My wife learned of your arrival, Misha, and demanded that I cut you off completely. I tried to reason with her, but she threatened to expose my infidelity and my illegitimate children. And I was such a coward. I'm a coward even now for making this video instead of making the effort to meet you. I am ashamed and disappointed with myself. I didn't know how to stand to my truth and stand up to my wife. I did, however, manage to stand up for you, John and Misha. While Joan kept me away from you with the threat of exposure, she did not keep me from providing for you. You see, I told her that if I had to accept a life without you, she would not get a red cent of my fortune, and that you would be named equally in my will in the event of my passing. But with everything going on in the world right now, I realize that I have to go a step further. Jordan, Megan, I leave our home here in New Orleans to you to do with whatever you want. The rest of my estate, my properties in Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, my bank accounts, investment portfolios, all liquid and intangible assets, everything, all of it will go to my children, John and Misha. Girls, all your life I've been telling you to make your millions, and I hope you have. If not, you can always sell the house and split the profit. But my entire estate belongs to John and Misha, and it is up to them to do with it what they will. It is truly the least I can do, as I and this country have failed you. And hopefully one day, America will do what's right as well.
Goddamn Jerry Springer. Goddamn motherfucking Jerry Springer. Goddamn motherfucking Jerry Springer. Hold on. Let me play that right. Hold on. Jerry did drop the motherfucking ball. Hold up. We gotta play that one time.
Jerry has more ass than you do.
Hold up, we gotta play this. Hold on, that one wasn't long enough right there. Hold on, that one wasn't long enough right there. Hold up. What that nigga said?
In Mississippi, Georgia, in New Orleans, to you, in the world right now, I realize that I have to go a step further. Jordan, Megan, I leave our home here in New Orleans to you to do with whatever you want. The rest of my estate, my properties in Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, my bank accounts, investment portfolios, all liquid and intangible assets, everything, all of it will go to my children, John and Misha. Girls, all your life I've been telling you to make your millions, and I hope you have. If not, you can always sell the house and split the profit. But my entire estate belongs to John and Misha, and it is up to them to do with it what they will. It is truly the least I can do, as I and this country have failed you. And hopefully one day, America will do what's right as well.
Hold on, let's go back. What? They telling you about the goddamn United States motherfucking corporation. it's been conveyed.
There's a new science that's evolved within the last 15 years or so. It's called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the science that says to us that our genetic makeup is not a fixed code. We come into this world as babies with enough of our code enabled to get us. There's a new science that's evolved within the last. There's a new science that's evolved within the last 15 years or so. It's called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the science that says to us that our genetic makeup is not a fixed code. We come into this world as babies with enough of our code enabled to get us started in life in a healthy way. What changes the code, this is important, is our perceptions of our environment, or there can be physical things in the environment, chemicals, high altitude or high tension power lines, things like that. We all know those have an effect. But the biggest effect is our perception of our world. So when people ask me, is the sun changing our DNA? It's not that the light of the sun is going to kick on some DNA if we go to the beach. But as we just mentioned in the previous question, our relationship to the sun, the magnetic fields of the sun ebb and flow. The magnetic fields of the earth ebb and flow in response to that. And here's where it gets really interesting, Tiffany, is that we are magnetic fields as well. Our hearts are based in magnetic fields. We are polar beings. We have a north and south pole in our bodies. The science, and this isn't speculation, it's not new age wishful thinking, this is science, is now showing us that humans are less aggressive and more willing to cooperate when the magnetic fields of the earth are stronger. So what that says, or conversely, more aggressive, less willing to cooperate when war and social hardship happens, is when the magnetic fields are weaker. So now what we're saying, to answer this question, it's not the light of the sun directly changing the DNA. The magnetic fields of the sun go through cycles, influencing magnetic fields of the earth, the human heart, the human psyche. As we perceive those changes, we become less aggressive or more aggressive, and our feelings are the epigenetic factors that change our own DNA. So are we changing our DNA? We can do it all the time. And there's a multi-part question. Been called junk DNA. We now know Mother Nature didn't give us any junk, not in the cells. It's not junk DNA. It simply is DNA whose function has only recently been recognized. What we used to call the junk DNA is giving instructions to the other DNA in terms of the functions they perform in our bodies. We need that DNA. Scientists for years, when they pull the DNA out of the cell, they've been throwing this stuff out. We don't need this. They're just after what was in the nucleus. But there are other forms of DNA in the cell. It's not junk. It's sending instructions to our cell body. So what we can say is that as the sun goes through these rhythms that are triggering climate change, it is also can trigger genetic change in our body. But the key is it's how we perceive the changes. Whether we feel that we are less aggressive or more aggressive. And I'm emphasizing this because it goes to the point that we are empowered through our perceptions to literally change our biology, to change our physical being to adapt to the world as it changes. We're not victims stuck, fixed, and at the mercy of the environment changing around us. We have the ability to change and adapt so that we can thrive, not just survive, but thrive in that environment. It's a long answer to a short question.
That is, and it goes into Sarah's question too. she says, how can we best prepare for any spontaneous genetic changes
Sure.
caused by solar flare? I would love to address that spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on the internet going around about a big solar flare that's going to affect Earth in a lot of different ways. Is it possible? It is possible. Anything is possible. Have we had them in the past? Yes, we have. The 1850s was the last huge solar flare. We didn't have the technology then that we had. We didn't have cell phone towers and power grids the way we have now. What we did have, it destroyed. The telegraph lines that were there acted as a little antenna. When that solar flare happened, it burned everything out. So can it happen? Yes. Is there evidence that we are in for one now? I know of no scientific evidence that suggests that. Not.
No.
Will guarantee you, no matter how educated you might think you are, I will guarantee you, you have no idea in the world how the world actually works. You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line, what you're signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That is written, it's a typewritten sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name. One of the most interesting symbols in Druidism was a magic wand. Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree, made out of Hollywood. And we're still seeing the magic of the wood of the holly tree. Hollywood. Hollywood, motion pictures, television, the world that we live in. There is, in point of fact, a magical matrix at work. I've always been interested in the occult. Occult is simply a word meaning hidden, and so much of our powers in this world and the way things work are hidden. And the more one looks at this subject of how the world actually works, you begin to see that there's a magical system. And I'm telling you, there really is a magical system dominating the world of the Western civilization. And for 1,000 years before the Roman Empire existed in Northern Europe, basically Western Europe, there was a magical priesthood called the Druids. And the Druids still even exist to this day. And it was a very legitimate political, social, educational, religious institution dominating Europe for thousands of years. And they were referred to as the Druids. They were actually from the Phoenician Canaanite system in the Middle East. The Phoenician Canaanites formed the basis for the ancient Druidic system, and that's even older. But in the ancient Druidic system, there were many powerful symbols and emblems. One of the most interesting symbols in Druidism was a magic wand, like Merlin the magician with his magic wand. Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It was made out of Hollywood. And we're still seeing the magic of the wood of the holly tree. Hollywood, motion pictures, television. And once you begin to see the symbols and realize that the symbols for the national coats of arms for countries, the flags, the seals, the presidential seals, the emblems for the logos and emblems on corporations, especially the corporate emblems for motion pictures and television companies like Columbia Broadcasting System. CBS has the eye. The Colombian system goes back to the Colombian faction of the Illuminati back in the early 1700s, not the late 1700s. And you begin to see why space shuttle is called Columbia. You have Columbia University, Columbia Pictures, Columbia Broadcasting. Columbia is a very interesting word, and it's connected to the Jesuits. Once you begin to see how words and terms and symbols are used. And of course, symbols are extraordinarily important in world affairs. All of a sudden, it opens up, as I said, a whole new perspective on how stuff is happening. Let me give you an example of how words, my friend William Henry says you put an S in front of the word word and it becomes swords. The words are swords. They are cutting things. Humans are word responsive creatures. We respond to people's words. When you begin to see how words are used, let me give you an example of the magic. Why do you have to go to court? You go to court because you play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Why? Because the people that develop it know it's a racket. That's where we get the term. Consequently, you need to understand that the words which are used by the systems under which we live are not by chance. In a court, the whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So this team of attorneys, they stand up and throw the ball back at the other team. Now the ball's in their court. They have to get up and throw the ball back into that court. The judge wears a black robe. Why does a judge wear a black robe? Well, the same reason Catholic priests wear black robes. Rabbis wear black robes. You wear a black robe. For many years, young people graduating from university and college wear a black robe. What's this stuff with a black robe? Let me give you an example of how this stuff works, and it's a very quick example. There are two basic kinds of law under the law of magic. There are two kinds of laws that govern the earth. One is called the law of the land, L-A-N-D. And we've heard that term, law of the land. Why do you use that term, the law of the land? Because that's where people live, is on land. But there's an opposing law which is far more important, far, far more powerful. It is called the law of water. It was developed under the old Druidic system in Europe, which can trace its history back to the Roman Empire through the Vatican, and ultimately back to the Phoenician Canaanites in the Middle East, of what we today call Phoenicia. Cana was called back what we call today Israel and Lebanon. Syria, that was called Phoenicia, Cana. And the Phoenician Canaanites, the very word Cana, which we've all heard in relation to the Bible, Cana is a Phoenician word meaning bankers, merchant bankers. Well, the Phoenician Canaanites set up a system of merchant banking and had their Phoenician Canaanite symbols and words connected to their societies, their banking societies. We're talking about in the Middle East. And then through the Greece and ultimately through Rome, and then into Britannia, and ultimately into this country comes an ancient Druidic Phoenician Canaanite magical system of finance, education, and all of it is right in front of you. But if you don't understand what the words are and what the words mean, you're never going to figure out how this stuff works. We all have a cursory understanding of what we think is going on. That's not it. You need to understand that when even on your check, when you're writing a check, the place where you put your name on a check, look at that line, what you're signing on, and get a magnifying glass, and you will find that's not a solid line to sign your name on. That is written. It's a typed written sentence that's been honed down to microscopic size. Get a magnifying glass and read on a check what is said where you sign your name. That's why the attorneys tell you, you better check the small print. The small print is ultra small. Where you sign your name on a check is saying something. Go back and read it. You need to understand that according to the old Phoenician Canaanite system, which we call today our judicial, educational and judicial system, there is no law in this country or in the Western world, no law, federal, state, county, city, commercial, it makes no difference. There is no law on the books anywhere in this country that applies to you as an individual creature. There is no law, because the people who designed the system thousands of years ago realized that there's two of you. There's the one that your mother gave birth to, that God created, so to speak. And even your mother didn't know what you were doing. Even your father and your mother have no idea what you're thinking or what you will do. You don't even know. So consequently, they have no control over you, your flesh and blood self.
Now, more than ever, veterans are doing this to improve their quality of life.
Two of the conditions.
But somebody has to control this show. And so consequently, the ancient Phoenician Canaanites developed a system by which they would assign to every person a second you. And this is the way it works in America. There is two of you. Just as there are two states in this country, of every state is two states. You have the state of Nevada and Nevada State. You have Cal State, California State, and State of California. Not the same thing at all. California State, according to the law, is one thing. State of California is totally different. Has nothing to do with each other at all. It's the difference between being a lawyer and an attorney. Has nothing to do with them at all. It's totally separate words, means totally separate things. Consequently, when you understand how words and terms are used and symbols are used, then we go back to the idea of the court. And as I said, there is no law in this country on any books that applies to you. None. All law in the Western civilization applies only to cooperations, co-ops. All law applies only to corporations, period. Across the board. No other, end of sentence. Consequently, there is no law that applies to you personally, so consequently, the system has made each one of you a corporation. And how now do you distinguish which one, when someone's addressing you, that they're addressing you as the one that your mother gave birth to, or the corporate you? Very simple. According to British law, when you sign your name, upper and lower case, that is applying to your body. Your flesh and blood self is spelled, according to British and American law, upper and lower case, capital letter, lower case. That's you, your personal self. There is no law that can be applied to an upper and lower case name, period. No law at all can be applied to an upper and lower case name because there is no law over you. Therefore, every piece of important bills, insurance, driver's license, identification, taxes, I don't care what it is. If it's a piece of business, period, in any kind of way, shape, or form, your name must, by law, international maritime admiralty banking law, your name must appear in all capital letters. You will never get a bill or anything that has your name upper and lowercase because there is no law that applies to an upper and lowercase name, period. So if Sears is going to send you a bill, if you go into Baskin Robbins or Sears and you order a pair of shoes, what are you going to do? They're going to give you a ticket and you're going to put it on your bill, and then they're expecting you to pay the bill. And consequently, they're going to charge you. Well, that's the same thing. You go into a courtroom. They're going to read out the charges. And the cop gave you the ticket, and you have been charged with speeding or whatever. And therefore, you have to pay the charge. Well, once you understand that in America, according to our laws in America, you cannot pay a bill. Did you know that? According to international banking law, Americans cannot pay a bill. So when you say, well, I got to pay this, I'll pay that bill, well, that's a term that we use. But in point of fact, lawfully, you cannot pay a bill. You can discharge a debt. You cannot pay a bill. So consequently, you need to understand, what do you mean discharge a debt? Now it gets back to the court again. Now it gets back to the symbols and emblems of why the judge wears a black robe. It has to do with the planet Saturn. Saturn is the God that inhibits. He's the inhibitor and the law God, the God of law who inhibits, who holds back.
You're on a Carnival cruise and it's all over now. This surging deluge is sneaking its way like the mighty Amazon towards your sweet little family with nothing to stop it. And now Granny's screaming, and that's choosing fun together.
He holds back everything and teaches you a lesson the hard way. Saturn. And women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god Saturn, who incidentally was called Lord of the Rings. Okay? And consequently, they're still making movies in Hollywood on Lord of the Rings, the planet Saturn. Women were told to listen to their god, the Lord of the Rings, so they were wearing an ear ring. Men were to get married before Saturn, their god, so they would wear a wedding ring. Consequently, the king would be crowned before Saturn. Saturn would be the round crown or the corona, the ring. Saturn, the god who is the inhibitor, the god of occult law, the mystical god Saturn, Lord of the Rings, who is in charge of and controls all occult law in the universe. This is why today we know that Saturn was referred to as El, E-L. El is a name that was given to the planet Saturn.
Philosophy of etymology, how words encode meaning, and how those ancient meanings our ancestors knew. And with the advent of Rome, all this changed. The calendar was changed, the year was changed, the names of the gods were changed, and the languages were changed. And of course, when you forbid someone from using their own native language, you get to rewrite their history. You get to change the meanings of their words. It's an old teaching. And if you're looking into the esoteric side of theology, philosophy, and wordsmithing, this book is second to none. Especially if you have a Western, if you come from the West, you come from an Abrahamic background, a Christian, Muslim, or Judaic background. This will definitely shine some light on things if you're ready for it and if you're open to it. Everything that we think of as religious today under the Vaticanized Roman Empire is a subversion of the truth, not the truth. And
just like landlords, when in actuality, the landlord is the king that's living on his soil or not living on his soil. Landlord is actually the landowner. The tenant is not even the landlord really owns the land. The tenant is an individual or entity that rent or lease the land / lot for the landowner or landlord. The tenant, which is the individual who leased the land from the leaser, which is the landowner, subsidize the land and make you subtenant. Why? To make you the obligator and responsible party to pay that landlord mortgage, taxes, fees, tithes, rent. Why? Because the real tenant who leased the square foot land was to use the land for sharecropping, farming, to perform or build this what it's for. Since the real tenant, who is calling themselves your landlord, is making you be the obligator. So to be honest, your landlord is not your landlord. They just acting to be the landlord to make you a subsidiary tenant. These judges and lawyers and congressmen holding your estate. When you authorize your signature on a contract, they call an application, which is a lease agreement. Remember, you never agreed to go in business with the colonized tenant. Money owed. You are the subholder. You're not getting paid. More like getting robbed. They don't tell us that shit, do it. They don't tell us that shit, dude. No, they don't tell us that. When in actuality, the landlord make you a subleaser to lease the land behind your back without your knowing nor your permission. Got you thinking the whole tenant. So when you rent from a tenant, what are the obligations when you didn't rent from the landlord? So when you go to rent to own, why are you putting down payments and paying mortgage when you did not purchase land? It said land and oil, and when speaking of entity, it's speaking of building on the land of business. Because guess what? The colonies were, by definition, agricultural communities. The people living in the colonies were tenants of the king living on his soil. They were obligated to pay taxes, tithes, fees, and rent for the privilege of working the soil as sharecroppers for the king. Estates are the next step up of the colonial status. Small estates can be owned by freedmen as freeholders. Larger estates are owned by a landlord under a allodial title or land patent granted by a king. Tenants, freemen, and landlords in a feudal system are subjects of a king and are all acting in caretaking or grantee capacity with respect to the soil and its inheritments. Wastelands were also granted as commonwealth assets belonging to a joint tenancy of pipers. The monarch holds the land and soil under sovereign letters patent. Our nation states were created by people acting as independent sovereigns, meaning that they recognize no king, pay no rents, possess the soil as kings in their own right. They don't owe it to anyone and not indebted to anyone.
I'm not reading this to piss anybody off. If you're a Christian, this is not to primitive Christians, the Essenes, fully realized and taught the great truth that Christ was a substance, an oil, or an ointment, contained especially in the spinal cord, consequently in all parts of the body, as every nerve in the body is directly or indirectly connected with a wonderful river that flows out of Eden, the upper brain, to water the garden. The early Christians knew that scriptures, whether written in Hebrew or Greek, were allegories, parables, or fables based on the human body, fearfully and wonderfully made.
Now let's go right here. Let's go right here. Going up the spinal cord. We talking about Kundalini. Let's go. Oh look. Let's go right here. One of the things that your so-called Baphomet represents. Let me play that bike. Let me play that bike a little bit. Oil. Kundalini rising. You see the snakes rising up the spinal, rising up the jid pillar to the crown. Sun, moon, as above, so below, whole uterus, and you see this and just you see the whole picture and get spooked. You see the boobs and you be like, man, these motherfuckers, but this is what they talking about. This duality. This showing you Kundalini rising up the spinal cord, aka the Jed pillar. Rising up the spinal cord at the 33rd vertebra. Bam. Hold up. I got to show that. Hell, earth, heaven for you Christians. Root chakra. Crown chakra. Hell, why you think the root chakra is red, just like your so-called devil? Do not be like them, for your Father knows that you need before you ask him. So then this is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I just showed you. Yeah. Ye, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil. God damn it, my cup runneth over. And this go back to show you that all of this shit is talking about us. Now let me go back to what he just said. Hold up. What did he just say? Primitive Christians, the essence, fully realized and taught the great truth. They talking about you. That Christ was a substance, an oil or ointment contained especially in the spinal cord, consequently in all parts of the body, as every nerve in the body is directly or indirectly connected with wonderful river that flows out of Eden, the upper brain, to water the garden. Now hold on, let me play this to let you know to get back in the aspect. Hold up. To get her back in the aspect, hold up. I got to play this video. Or what they talk about.
Quote, please use the following theories and observations to assist you in your search for truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. End quotes. You know it's going to be interesting, and it was. Quote, 1. Dr. Richard King reveals that the core of the human brain is the locus coeruleus, which is a structure that is black because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin, which is essential for its operation. 2. Black infants sit, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. 3. Carol Barnes notes that human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. 4. Some scientists have revealed that most whites are unable to produce melanin because their pineal glands are often calcified or non-functioning.
This shit cosmic.
Is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And 5. Melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities, something which cannot be measured based on Eurocentric standards. End quote. Physical and
you being from the cosmos gives you greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities. That's what they talking about. Now let's go back. Hold up. Where we at? Now, we talking about Christians don't want to get into this. For thy art with me, thy rod, thy staff. Hold on. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't motherfucking hear me. That a motherfucking rod. There is the motherfucking staff. Okay, Christians. You motherfucker. Y'all ain't got no explaining to do. Y'all ain't got no explaining to do.
Connected with a wonderful river that flows out of Eden, the upper brain, to water the garden. The early Christians knew that scriptures, whether written in Hebrew or Greek, were allegories, parables.
Parable, because we can go read the Revelation 11:1. Then I was given a measuring rod like a staff and was told, go and measure the temple of God and the altar and count the number of worshipers there. That's what your motherfucking staff, your rod for. Your goddamn caduceus. They talking about the caduceus. Rod of Hermes. Hermes. Count the number of worshipers there. Meaning, when you enlighten, you get enlightened. See how many more motherfuckers enlightened. See how many more motherfuckers enlightened. And hold on, let me pull this up right here before we go. Let me pull this up right here before we go back to the video. Holy Bible, Old Testament, Psalm 23:4. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thy rod and staff are symbolic to the spinal column. The rod means power and the staff defense. The shepherd's rods is a staff shepherd slays the wild animals that attack the sheep. The crook staff is used for helping sheep out of crevices and other pitfalls. The meaning of the Hebrew word for rod, sebet, and staff, mishnah, are very special. The Hebrew word sebet has the idea of a stick. It originally referred to a part of a tree in the Old Testament. The stick was used to count sheep. It always used to protect the sheep. But you get where we're going. You get where we're going. You get to where we're going. Your whole medical association. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me.
Or fables based on the human body, fearfully and wonderfully made. You have to understand the etymology of these words, what they mean. So, Christos in Greek is oil, sacred oil. These adepts knew that the secretion, the gray matter, the gray creative, which issues or secretes from the cerebrum, was the source and cause of the physical expression called man. And they knew that the river of Jordan was symbolized in the spinal cord, and that the Dead Sea was used to symbolize the sacred plexus at the base of the spinal column, where the Jordan spinal cord ends, typifying the entrance of Jordan into the Dead Sea. The thick, oily, and salty substance composed the sacral plexus, the cauda equina, which means the horse's tail in Latin, which is basically that's our tail, all the nerves that run through our sex organs from our sacrum, from our lower spine. It looks like fine hairs of a horse's tail, so they called it the cauda equina. The horse's tail may be likened to a crude petroleum, petra, mineral or salt, and oleum, Latin for oil. And the thinner substance, oil or ointment in the spinal cord, may be compared with coal oil. And when this oil is carried up to the process, of the Ida and Pingala, the two fluid nerves that end in a cross in the medulla oblongata, where it contacts the cerebellum.
Nah, let's go right here. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Four Gospels, esoterically interpreted by John P. Scott. Enter ye in at the Stargate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in there, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. The Stargate is the spinal cord with all this small entrance and narrow road or way through with the life force must be raised to illumine the being. The broad way of the misuse of the life force, the way of the unregenerated man of the masses of humanity. It is only the few who sincerely seek themselves who find the way of regeneration. It is interesting to note that the most traveled street in any city is usually called their Broadway.
Golgotha, the place of the skull. This fluid is refined as coal oil is refined to produce gasoline, a higher rate of motion that causes the ascension of the airship. Okay, so what very few people know is that the Bible itself, the bibliography, is two things. It's a genealogy, a family lineage. So-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so, and so on. But the book itself and all the characters in it actually refer to the temple of God, which is the human body itself. I know people find this hard to believe, but there are all these clues. Like, for example, Golgotha is actually your skull, every human being's skull, because that's this place where the crucifixion takes place. It's all inside of us. When the oil or ointment is crucified, crucified means to increase in power 1,000-fold, not to kill. It remains 2 days and a half, the moon's period in the sign of the tomb, cerebellum. On the third day ascends to the pineal gland that connects to the cerebellum. With the optic thalamus, central eye in the throne of God, is the chamber overtopped by hollow or hallowed, caused by the curve of the cerebrum, the most high of the body, which is the temple of the living God, the living, vital substance, which is precipitation of the breath of life, breathed into man, therefore the holy or whole ghost of breath. So what's being explained here, it's a little cryptic, the language, but what's being explained here is the sacred secret or secretion. That's what that word means, secret, secretion, that comes from the pituitary and the pineal gland. That chemistry comes out of the brain, goes down the spinal column all the way to the sex organs in order to make new life. It's charged with electric soul power. But that force also, if not used to make life and not expelled or wasted, it changes its chemistry once it mixes together. That's the chemical wedding that the alchemists talk about. Once that new substance happens, it becomes less dense and it floats back up the spinal column in the cerebral spinal fluid, like mercury does in a thermometer. And it rests in the nave, in the gland known as the solar plexus.
Let me go right here. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. I sat on the throne. a book written within 7 chakras. Hold on, bear with me.
And it charges itself there based on the way you live. And the way you treat your body, the way you eat and drink and sleep and exercise, and it rests there for 2.5 days. Now that 2.5 days is significant because it's the time each month that the moon is in the sign in which you were born under. Your combination of the sun and the moon's electromagnetic energy, and charges this up while it's in your solar plexus. That's why it's called your solar plexus. Ever wonder that? Interesting how every doctor around the world, no matter what culture you come from, points to this weird spot where your rib cage comes together in the center of your body, and they say, oh yeah, that's the solar plexus. But no one ever asks why it's called that. That's why it's called the solar plexus. It's a very specific glandular spot. Anyway, George Carey will go on and point this out. The pineal gland is the pinnacle of the temple, the modus operandi in which the oil of the spinal cord reaches the pineal gland and is described in what follows. There is no name under heaven whereby ye may be saved except Jesus Christ did. Charged. And the idea is to take care of it and to know that it's traveling up and down your spine and transmutate your sex energy accordingly. Now, he's not talking about celibacy. He's talking about knowing the body and using that energy at the right time for the right things going on. The seed, having the odor of fish, was called Jesus, or iktos, which is Greek for fish, and nun, N-U-N, Hebrew for of life. I am the bread that came down from heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. So many of us have seen the fish being associated with Jesus. Iktos means fish in Greek. The fruit of the tree of life, therefore, is the fish, bread, of which thou shalt not eat on the plain or animal of Adam, earth dust of the earth plane. Adam, the word Adam often in Hebrew text means red earth or earth dust. But to him that overcometh will I give to eat the fruit of the tree of life, because he saved it, and it returned to him in the cerebellum and the home of the spiritual man, the ego. The cerebellum is the heart-shaped, and it is called the heart in Greek thus, in quotes, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So another little thing, another side, the tree of life is not a physical place. It's never been a physical place. That was the invention of Rome, to pull people away from the real place of salvation, which is your own body, the human form. And the tree of life is your cerebrospinal tree, your cerebrospinal system. Your brain is the root ball, and all your nerves branch out, going down your body like a tree. You know, we are like a walking inverted tree. That is the original tree of life. The body organ that men in their ignorance.
They're just like, we were going back talking about the rod. And the staff is equivalent to the spinal column, and the measurement is 33 degrees, which is the temple of God. And the altar is the mind. And like I said, count the number of worshipers is talking about the number of people that reach that motherfucking level. So, hold on. We go right here. We go right here, right? And it's supposed to be Khufu Pyramid on the plateau of Giza. Giza Plateau. And it has chambers, and they point to particular constellations. On the left, we got Isis, which is Canis Major, aka Sirius, the sun behind the sun, the great provider. You see Osiris, which is Orion, once and future king, called heaven, pointing towards those three stars that point towards that star Sirius, which is symbolic to Set or Isis, which is Sirius 8. So here to the right, you got Ursa Minor, Polaris, which is the North Star, and Ursa Major, which is the Little Big Dipper. Little Big Dipper. It's all symbolic. They're just like Heru and Luke Skywalker wanted smoke for their father's death, right? And we know Heru is the god of sky. Luke's last name tell you every motherfucking thing, Skywalker. Sith represents Set. Darth Vader represents Asar, the Lord of the Perfect Black. Skywalker represents Heru. Yoda is Best. Princess Leia represents Maya. This is all talking about you. Let's continue.
Called heart is termed divider or pump in Greek and Hebrew. Our blood divider is not the button that we touch when we think, but it is the upper lobe of the cerebellum that vibrates thought. The lower lobe is the animal or mortal lobe that governs the animal world. The section of the body below the solar plexus, called Lower Egypt, natural body, kingdom of earth, Apollyon, the devil, lived spelled backwards, Satan. Saturn governs the bowels. During
We're gonna go right here. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna go right here. Feel the universal force, the forces of the North Star and Big Dipper above your head in the cosmic particle force in front of you as they shine down to your pearl. Feel your pearl start to absorb this energy and then feel it expand. Thalamus and hypothalamus, these points are also part of the cranial pump and they help us access the energy of the Big Dipper constellation. The first step in opening to the stellar energies is in the microscopic orbit, where we open the door to the heavenly chi by focusing on the North Star and the Big Dipper energies, concentrating on their light, their color, and the associated feeling of their energy. Our main doorway to heavenly chi at this level is our crown, a Bahu point. Internally, the hypothalamus is the point of correspondence to the Bahu. The back of the crown point is also known as the Kunlun Mountain, the highest peak of humans and in heaven. The pineal gland is the most sensitive to the light of heaven. Once we are able to open to and tap into the outer energy sources of the North Star, Big Dipper, all those celestial energy bodies out there, the cosmos, we can use them to bring ourselves into balance by absorbing them and blending them in much the same way we could adjust the temperature of the water in the bathtub by adding hot and cold as necessary to bring it to a perfect temperature. We find we are too yin, we can draw more heavenly chi to yang. We can draw in more earth chi in this way. We can harmonize our yin yang energies with this microscopic orbit practice.
the first 300 years of the Christian era, all has been above written was understood by the real Christians. And about the end of time, the persecution of the Essenes by the priesthood came so marked that they met in secret and always made the sign of the fish. About the year 325, Constantine, the pagan Roman emperor, called the teachers of Christianity together at Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea. Constantine murdered his mother and boiled his wife in oil because they still held the original doctrines of the Essenes. Constantine was told by the priests of his time that there was no forgiveness for crimes such as his, except
all right. In Freemasonry, it is taught that the blazing star is a symbol of deity, of omnipresent. The creator is present everywhere, and of omnipresent, the creator sees and knows all. Sirius is therefore the sacred place all Masons try to ascend to. It is the source of divine and the destination of divine individual. This concept is also represented in the Masonic art portraying Sirius, the blazing star, is the destination of the Mason's journey. They can't have that fluid that we talking about, that Kundalini energy rising up the 33rd, the spinal cord, and hitting the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and hitting that doorway, which is the motherfucking pineal gland. Lots of people doors are locked. Lots of motherfucking people doors are locked. The door is locked. You want to talk to motherfucking? Pull it up. Pull it up. You see it. You looking at it. You want to talk about the Great Pyramid? You want to talk about the Great Pyramid? You want to talk about the Great Pyramid? King's Chamber, the Queen Chamber. When we want to just go off a surface level. We're going to get a little metaphysical with it. We're going to get a little metaphysical with it. Can we get a little metaphysical with it? Can we get a little metaphysical with it? That's all I want to know. Do we not know we can harness the energy of the motherfucking trees that expand our awareness? And how anything recessive is being eradicated? How these motherfuckers really want your platelets, your plasma? They goddamn it, they want you. Goddamn it, they want you. Make movies and shit about you all the time. All the time. Let me play this goddamn video right here in the background. Let me play this goddamn video. Hold on. I think I gotta play this video. Hold on. No, I'm gonna play this right here. Let me go back to this.
Quote, please use the following theories and observations to assist you in your search for truth regarding the genetic differences between blacks and whites. End quotes. You know it's going to be interesting, and it was. Quote, 1. Dr. Richard King reveals that the core of the human brain is the locus coeruleus, which is a structure that is black because it contains large amounts of neuromelanin, which is essential for its operation. 2. Black infants sit, crawl, and walk sooner than whites. 3. Carol Barnes notes that human mental processes are controlled by melanin, that same chemical which gives blacks their superior physical and mental abilities. 4. Some scientists have revealed that most whites are unable to produce melanin because their pineal glands are often calcified or non-functioning. This is the chemical basis for the cultural differences between blacks and whites. And 5. Melanin endows blacks with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities, something which cannot be measured based on Eurocentric standards. End quote. Let that sink in. Melanin endows black people with greater mental, physical, and spiritual abilities.
Hold on, do I want to play another video? Hold on, do I want to play another video? Hold on, let me see if I want to play another video.
Bear with me here. White supremacy has taught us to steal your souls. Now, I don't mean soul in the ethereal, otherworldly sense, but in the sense of an innate connection to our own human spirit. That is a connection between the mind and body that white culture alienated white people from in order to give us the power to dehumanize people of color in the way that we have. Because we lack that incredibly meaningful connection with ourselves, we steal and appropriate that from other cultures around the world. We love these expressions of soul and spirit, but hate that we can't do it and resent you for it. We love to have it, but hate when you have it.
11 out of the 12,000 years, black people or melanated people have ruled the world. This is why they keep your history from you. I agree with that. I don't think they want black folks to know how powerful their cultures are, how deep their spiritual beliefs were. But, and I think they hold that back from you. But in saying that, if we're going to blame the white man today, he's just a new king. And he's only been the king for about a little over 400 years. So we've been under white domination for about 400 years. But who cares who sewed the first flag? Who cares who invented peanut butter? Who cares who the first black man was to pee in a white bathroom? That's shit to keep you down. That's shit to say, yeah, man, like we overcame this. You ain't down. That's shit to say, yeah, man, like we overcame this. You ain't overcame that because you used to be the power of this planet. You used to rule this planet. You could do it again. You're 90% of the fucking world population. And you're going to tell me 10% keep you down? It's because of mind control.
Because of mind control. Spell. That's why they wanted to hit us with the ego boosters. They had them goddamn motherfucking fetuses and goddamn whatever else, liquid crystals, goddamn, and you know that shit goddamn attached to your goddamn genomic structures, goddamn, and later, and the planet heat up and it fuck you up. That's why they got and wanted you to get the ego booster. Ego boost. You see it. Can we get it now? Can we get it now? Getting these sun cold, these downloads to the amino acid. Some people don't goddamn have chloroplast. Some people don't have chakras. How Marvel characters are made of our genetic. We pure electricity. How some people got animal melanin. You gotta have a soul to have cosmic essence. Neuromelanin. Dark matter. We talking about this shit that make up all of this. Some people can't go above pheomelanin conscious. And basically they're physically composed with the same blood DNA as animals. They don't possess the motherfucking neuromelanin that's manifested within the central nervous system of the brain that allows you to connect to whatever the fuck you would call the creator, God, or whatever. Some people got no conscience, not just they basically NPCs. The seat of the soul, the pineal gland, the pineal gland, you feel me? They have people, a lot of these people have no gland in their brain that allows a soul to enter the body. They can't access their higher self like old buddy just said. Their body's not even equipped to intake a soul. They've been locked out. And we talking about neurons, which basically allows your thoughts to leave the pineal gland and connect with the non-etheric realm, the cosmic essence realm, the melanin realm, the universe, the cosmos, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of motherfuckers have got no cosmic affiliation. You're not condensed sunlight. We energized by the motherfucker solar system. And everything in nature. Our hair absorbs the sun rays. These motherfuckers don't even have compassion. You see how it is sometimes when you speak to them. What like Ross said, envious. How they be studying us through amino acids. And the invasion is within our body. The invasion is within our body. Let's not motherfucker forget. We was very in tune with the motherfucking spiritual world. Like Bobby said, goddamn, our motherfucking spiritual centers were more motherfucking open. The pineal gland, crown chakra, all chakras. They talk about the 7, but we can go to 12. We can go to motherfucking 12. We had direct communication with our folks on the Sirius star system. Andromeda. I'm talking about summon the gods and they'll come through in the spirit world and do an operation. And we out there bit practicing universal law. And it's over with for multi-cell organelle. How we got the ability to alter the sun's radiation based on feelings and emotions. And how other people lack molecular properties and chemical properties and metaphysical properties to survive at this new level of frequency. Plus, a lot of y'all motherfuckers carry so much hate in your heart. We giving these motherfuckers all the credit and contribution to medicine and arithmetic and philanthropy, math, science, philosophy, and shit. But with all this energy, it's talking about 72 demonic forces deep within us that's awakening. 72 feminine energies, because we motherfucking chaotic beings of electromagnetic energy and dark matter energy and electricity. When they talk about the goddamn Transformer movie, talk about the motherfucking Ancient One. Who you think they talking about? Who you think they talking about? The Ancient One, which is symbolic of the Titans. These ancient energies that's deep within us. In the X-Men Apocalypse represented 72 demonic forces. Oh. I don't know. Well, where can we go? Where can we go? Because we know melanin is more than pigment. Ptah is the creator of Netta, of the physical world. He is the spirit that has descended into and trapped in matter. A new soul being born into matter would be the principle of Heru. Heru is the original fallen angel from heaven. Heru was the light in matter. A nickname for Heru as bringer of light in matter was Lucifer, or bearer of light. Ancient Africans would use a play on words to express the reverse of an idea. Ptah meant spirit falling into matter. Hotep was spirit leaving matter, the body, and going to a peaceful resting place. Today, we use the term Hotep as meaning peace. Like Utah, Ptah. Petit was one of the triad of Memphis, along with Sekhmet or Bas and Nefertun. With Memphis became the capital of Egypt. Ptah became the ultimate creator who made everything, including the gods of Agdad of Hermopolis, and the Enid of Heliopolis was given the epithet. He was set all the gods in their places and gave all things the breath of life. Ptah was worshipped throughout all the Egypt with his primary cults. Centuries were in Memphis and Heliopolis. He was so popular in Egypt that it is said that the name Egypt derives from a Greek spelling of the name of a temple in Memphis, Ha-Ka-Ptah, which means the temple of Ka-Ptah. Yeah. We'll keep going if we have to. We can keep going if we motherfucker have to. Let's pull this up right here. Hold on. Let's pull this up right here. It symbolizes as the eye of Ra-Heru, or Hara-Her, or Cyclops, whose eye is in the middle of his forehead. From the Minoan create, follow the mean, the ancient Marine, netter of fertility, late Greek tale. In the Hebrew tradition, he is known as Michael, who dares to be like God. As the sense, the pineal gland, or the crown top of the head, melanin energy seat seal called the Haruk Halo or Uriel, the light fire of God, or God is the radiating principle of light, the angel or angle of light, the angel of light, Los Angeles. Los Angeles, is also the Latin Roman mythology. Lucifer for the planet Venus. Uriel symbolizes the planet Venus, and in the cult field, the planet Venus represents melanin also. Lucifer means light bearer or the light bringer. Uriel is one of the 7 archangels. According to Judaic lore, Uriel was put in charge of Tartarus, another name of the for Hades or hell, first chakra or root base chakra, the abode of the Kundalini. Uriel holds the keys of hell and will do away with gates of hell on Judgment Day. He is the archangel of salvation, the ruler over magic, devotion, alchemy, sudden changes, the wind of change, astrology, universal cosmic consciousness, divine order, distribution of power, and universal law, emergencies, judgment, enlightenment, and insight. The Holy Bible, 1 Peter 3:18-19, tells of Jesus going to hell for 3 days and 3 nights to get the keys from Satan over hell and death. Revelation 1:18, I, Jesus, am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive for evermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. We know motherfuckers lack creativity, harmony, and rhythm. Let's go. We have a genetic connection to the motherfucker planets, plants, all this shit. Thus, Jesus, Ishua Heru, in hell is Uriel, Latin Lucifer, Ra. Uriel teaches the paths of the heart, the fire of pure love and devotion to spirit. All spiritual study remains an intellectual pursuit, very goal until understanding of true spiritual study is further supported by the tradition that Uriel, another form of Ra Tahuti, brought to earth alchemy, the heavenly arcane, and was the giver of the holy Kabbalah to man. In Greek mythology, he is Prometheus. Prometheus is a titan immortal that stole fire, Kundalini, Shakti, Shiva force from the gods, and it brought man. He climbed Olympus and stole fire from the chariot of Helios, or in later mythology, Apollo. Prometheus carried to Mount Caucasus, where an eagle, phoenix by the name of Ethan, offspring of the monsters Typhoon, Set or Soot, and Chinda, would eat out his liver. It would grow back each day, and the eagle would eat it again in the Holy Bible. Dude, that's the end. John 19:34, but one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, talking about Jesus, and forthwith came there out blood and water. The origins of the goat of Mendes can be traced back to ancient Egypt. Goats and rams were worshipped in many cities throughout Egypt thousands of years ago. The goat is synonymous with Satanism. Because we know Satanism is not what motherfuckers think. We're not talking about worshiping no motherfucking devil and all that cutting off motherfuckers' head and none of that bullshit right there. We talking about ancient Osirian knowledge or ancient mystery system knowledge that's been hidden in the banner of Satanism. Cause you talk about demons, motherfuckers get scared. And which to say they not evil spirits, they melanated spirits. which is nothing but potent part of your powers. Oh, this information coming out goddamn on a different motherfucking frequency. I'm talking about a higher level of goddamn intellect, higher level of motherfucking wisdom. I'm talking about energy rising like a motherfucker. Smash that motherfucker like button. It's free, it don't cost you nothing. Share the motherfucking video down time. It don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing. We be going to the motherfucking astro planes and sometimes bringing the enlightenment into the physical state. And try to put this shit in verbiage so motherfuckers can understand. Understand. Goddamn quantum energy. Goddamn quantum energy. Okay. And guess what? All this shit really restricted. We talk about the firmament and the magnetic field. It's really restricted. In the magnetic field, the shit, the ice barriers, the shit that surround us, the shit really restricted until us gods and goddesses have a high enough awareness to match with the cosmos. Yeah. All right, let's go. The horns represent the horns. The horns represent the horn gods, goddesses. Goats also symbolize fertility in many different cultures and times. The goat as a symbol of fertility and focus of religious rites dates all the way back to so-called Sumeria. The goat symbolizes fertility and multiplying the life force real, which activates and raises the serpent. The goat of 1,000 young is referencing to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, in Sanskrit, which means 1,000-petal lotus. The goat of Mendes, Ptah, the Egyptian god of magic, knowledge, and wisdom, and allies Satan, became the goat and sometimes a ram in the city of Mendes, however you want to enunciate it, where he was worshipped as such. The goat ram of Mendes represented the Ba, which was the Egyptian word for the soul. Ptah was considered to be a great magician and the lord of serpents. There are many false claims based upon ignorance that the goat was invented as a reaction to the lamb of Christianity. The Christian use of the lamb came much later, and in truth is based upon the sign of Aries, the spring Easter lamb. Everything in Christianity has been stolen and corrupted for religious proceedings. The horn goat is also directly of Enki, Satan. The constellation of the horn goat, Capricorn, is the same time of the winter solstice, known as the southern gate of the sun. The goat was known in early so-called Babylonian time as the god Ye, Enki. Satan, he was known as the he of vast intellect and the Lord of sacred eye, protector of his people, and the bringer and giver of knowledge and civilization to humanity. Represented as a snake, he ended up in the Garden of Eden as a snake in the tree of life, encouraging learning and knowledge rather than blissful ignorance. Whenever he roamed the earth, he took the form of a goat. He was considered the father of light, and his celebrations dating back to 15,000 BCE were carried out wearing goat skins. Satanism is in truth the world's oldest religion. Satanism is not an invention or inversion of Christianity. We're going to come back tomorrow and do the motherfucking part 3 of this motherfucker. You already know, stay the fuck away from hate and stay on medication, positive motherfucking vibration, aviation. Don't be scared of Satan. Go to the motherfucking dark side. They told you in the beginning that was motherfucking darkness.
The light came from the motherfucking